Welcome to our channel UK Visa and Immigration Updates. The government has published a new policy paper outlining sweeping reforms to the asylum system. In this video, we will share a key summary of these major reforms. One, Core protection for refugees. New core protection offer. Refugee support will be limited to what is required by international obligations, moving away from permanent protection. Shortened leave to remain. Initial leave reduced from 5 years to 30 months. Renewable only if protection is still needed. Longer path to settlement. No indefinite settled status until 20 years in the UK, with requirements to be set in a future consultation. Protection work and study route. Refugees can switch to this route if they obtain employment or commence study, making them eligible for earlier settlement and family sponsorship. No automatic family reunion. Family reunion rights will not be automatic for those on core protection. Stricter requirements will apply. Reduced right to public funds. Access to taxpayer-funded benefits will be prioritized for those making an economic contribution. A consultation is planned for 2026. Special consideration for vulnerable groups. Pathways for unaccompanied children, families with children, and other vulnerable asylum seekers will be reviewed. Two, Asylum support and accommodation. Revoking duty to support. The legal obligation to provide support to destitute asylum seekers will be replaced with a discretionary power. Conditional support. Support will be denied to those with the right to work, those who have made themselves intentionally destitute, or those not complying with support conditions, e.g. failing to abide by removal directions, or working illegally. Compliance-based support. Support will be conditional on compliance with UK law, including sanctions for criminality, refusal to relocate, or disruptive conduct. Contributions mechanism. Those with some assets or income will be required to contribute to the cost of their support. Ending hotel accommodation. Commitment to exit all asylum hotels by the end of Parliament, moving towards large sites, including military sites. Three, tackling illegal working. Increased enforcement. Record levels of raids and penalties for employers hiring illegal workers. Expanded right-to-work checks. Checks will be extended to gig economy, subcontracted, and self-employed workers. Digital ID requirement. A single digital ID will be mandatory for right-to-work checks by the end of Parliament. Collaboration with online platforms. Agreements with delivery companies to strengthen ID verification and data sharing. One, removing failed asylum seekers. Resuming removals to more countries. Exploring enforced returns to countries like Syria where conditions have changed. Family removals. Financial support for voluntary family returns, with escalation to enforced removal if refused. Ending indefinite support for families. Consultation on removing support from families who do not cooperate with returns, using powers in the Immigration Act 2016. Return hubs. Continue to explore the use of return hubs, which are safe third countries that failed asylum seekers can be sent to instead of their country of origin. Two, visa penalties. Imposing visa penalties. Sanctions, including suspending visas, on countries that do not cooperate with the return of their citizens.
3.
Appeals and legal reform. New appeals body. Creation of an independent appeals body with professionally trained adjudicators. Accelerated and single appeal route. Statutory timelines, expedited appeals for certain cases, and a single appeal route to reduce delays and abuse. Strengthened certification regime. Denying appeal rights for clearly unmeritorious claims. Legislation on post-appeal rights. Private or family life rights accrued after losing an appeal will not override removal other than in the most exceptional circumstances. Assisted voluntary return. Continued offer of financial packages for voluntary return at any stage. Tackling further submissions abuse. New processes for further submissions, limiting further submissions to protection grounds only. Legal advice. Early legal advice will be a core part of system reforms, avoiding delays and late claims. Four, human rights and modern slavery reform. Limiting Article 8 claims. Legislation to rebalance the public interest test, define family life, and clarify application routes for Article 8, right to family or private life, claims. International reform to the application Article 3. Working with partners to reform the application of the ECHR's prohibition on inhuman or degrading treatment. Modern slavery system reform. Legislation to clarify our responsibilities under international law, removal of reconsideration for negative decisions, enhanced screening for individuals detained for removal, and a stronger link between timely disclosure and credibility. Five, other barriers to removal. Swift refusal of unmeritorious claims. Single interview refusals for manifestly safe country claims. Streamlined deportation of foreign offenders. Immediate deportation eligibility after sentencing. Improved age assessment. Trials of AI and facial age estimation technology. Annual cap on arrivals. Home Secretary to set an annual cap on arrivals through safe and legal routes, based on community capacity. Reformed resettlement and sponsorship. Shift to community sponsorship as the main framework for refugee resettlement, with greater local and voluntary sector involvement. Capped routes for students and skilled refugees. New capped routes for refugee, displaced students, and skilled refugees to come to the UK for study or work. Flexibility for global crises. Continued responsiveness to country-specific crises, e.g., Ukraine, Gaza, including support for dependents of Chevening scholars and fully funded students. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to get timely notification of upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.